Hello guys, sorry I was setting up. Hello Mrs. Peterson. Hello mega shoutout sa lahat. Hindi Aini. We're just waiting for our guest. So just a sec, I'm gonna turn on the just a sec, we're waiting for our guest. Mega shoutout sa inyo lahat dyan. Salamat sa pa-PG-PG. Mega shoutout Inday Aini. Seth Holland. Mrs. Peterson. I'm just going to make sure that she is ready. Oh, here you are. Hi. Hello. Yes. So she is here. So I'm going to give you the link. Here you go. So Ashley, please click the link, this link that I dropped down below, and you can come in and join me. You can come up here and join me. All right. I'm just going to get make sure you have a jacket. Hello, make a shout out to everyone. Maraming salamat ate, you're welcome. You're learning Tagalog, okay? You're learning to speak Filipino. That's awesome. So I'm going to make sure you have a jacket. There you go. Hello, Shenli. Hello, Shenli. Oh, ayan, may jacket ka na, Shenli. Hello. May ka-shoutout. Shenli, can you hear me? Naririnig po ba ako? Hello po, kumusta? Maraming salamat, ate, from your Canadian blind girl, Ashley. Oh, there you go. There she is. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. I can hear you very clearly too. Awesome. Thank you, Shenli. Just a sec. I'm just gonna acknowledge the people, the viewers we have here. We have hello, make a shout out to Mrs. Peterson USA. Thank you for coming. Hello, Be. I'm Mrs. Holland, 1317 Holland. Shenli, thank you, Shenli, for coming. Salamat. Palablab po sa mga di pa nakalablab. Yes, you know what? Just type I love you, one word, and it will drop your link. It will drop your channel link. So please just type I love you, one word, and it will drop your link. Hi, I'm so happy to see you. Happy Sunday.
Thank you. Happy Sunday. Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me as your guest.
Oh my God, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. I'm very excited to get to know you, your story, what you love, and what impact you are going to share to everyone. What are the things that are important to you that you want to share? I'm very, very excited to hear all those things. There you go. So I am just going to get myself ready, and no stress, no pressure, no worries. Just relax, and there will be no scary or anything like that.
Don't worry, I've probably already been asked them by now.
Just chit chat and just have a good Sunday and stuff. Yeah. So ayun, nagbaba na si Shenli ng bahay niya. Ayun na. I'll just share to the group, okay? I'm just gonna go share to the group. Mm. So how was your Sunday so far? It's 3 o'clock there, right? 3 p.m.
Yeah, 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So I know there's a 3-hour difference between Ontario and BC.
Your signal is a little bit cutting off. Is there any browser open on your laptop that we can close? Yeah.
Different areas on different lockdowns, and so we had this lockdown this last year at our local building.
It's a little bit it's I don't know if it's just me. It's oh, it's okay now. It's good now. Yes. It's good now. It was a little bit
lagging.
Is there any browser open in your laptop except StreamYard? Other than StreamYard?
Yeah, there is, but I can close it.
Yes. Yes. I think it will help.
That may help. Okay.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
You're awesome. You're awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, I'll just have to share just a sec. I'll just share our there you go. Share it on Facebook. Because sometimes I forget to share. So so yeah. So I'm just gonna share it on Facebook and make sure that I share it to the page, to my page.
I think we're like the same YouTubers because I do that too. I put videos up and then I forget to share them with people, and then I wonder why I have no views.
And then also I forget to turn on the monetization sign. So I've been running and running, and that's the purpose. You run ads, and then you forget to run the ads.
You're getting a free advertisement.
So yeah.
Actually, I don't have enough subscribers yet to monetize, so I'm still working on that. So you're a step ahead of me, actually.
Oh, don't worry about that. We'll work on that. Don't worry about that.
Ooh,
just do your thing. Just do your thing. Just this is why we are doing this thing, so that we get our channel shared, and people will know our channel and stuff. So it works both ways for you and me, and then it's like helping each other to, because with this pandemic, like now we are in YouTube, so it's good to help each other, help one another, and yeah, and get to know and get connected to one another. So
yes, for sure, sure. Yeah.
Just a sec. Thank you so much, Shelly. Hello, Suskal Entertainment. Yay! Mega shoutout sa iyo po. Thank you for coming. I would like to introduce our guest. our very important guest for today. We have Ashley. We YouTube channel, our uh, our Canadian blind girl. So I would like to give a shout out to everyone, to our viewers down there. Thank you for coming. Thank you. I would like to. I'm going to drop your link. I'm going to drop your link at the bottom and make sure that's there. So I'm going to. Are you at home in Ontario, or you're still on your friends in the valley?
So I am in Ontario. I don't have my own home because I was actually living with my husband in the Philippines.
Okay.
And I came back to Canada because I was having some health issues and paperwork, and I got stranded here.
Oh, so you're at your friend's place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my family's home. I'm kind of crashing at their house.
Okay. Yeah, because of this pandemic, there's so many things. Oh my God, there's so many things that I'm so glad that you're sharing this, because you know what? We share with this pandemic, everyone is just affected, like everyone.
It's amazing how one thing can affect people, and it doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter your language, it doesn't matter your religion, and it affects everybody.
The whole world, like it's I don't want to say the word crazy, but it's crazy what's going on. It's insane. Like with this pandemic, it's like the whole world. Like with this virus, it's like affecting every single one of us. Like oh yeah. I would like to get a sorry, I was busy chatting. I'm sorry. Just Zeus Call Entertainment. Meron ka na pong jacket. Salamat po sa pagpaalam po. Kasi chika ng chika. Oh, nakalimutan. Pasensya na po ha. Star Galaxy. I'm just gonna acknowledge our viewers. Star Galaxy. Inday Garly Silay. Mega shoutout sa iyo, Inday. Zeus Call Entertainment. Hello po. Mega shoutout. May jacket na po kayo. May jacket na po kayo, Suskal Entertainment. Mega shoutout po sa iyo. I love you lang po, one word. I love you, one word. Para mababa po ang jacket at magdikitan po tayo, ha? So, Snow Show. Mega shoutout sa iyo. I'll give you a jacket. Free po ang jacket. Mega shoutout po. Andyan na po. I will drop down Ashley's channel. Pakibakas po at pakilablabin po natin siya, ha? Mahalin po natin siya. Thank you. Baba ko po ang ano niya, ha? Ang kanyang channel.
If you hear a weird noise, there are no kids here, but the cat is playing with the bathroom door.
At first I was like, she maybe had the friends probably had kids. It's the kitty cat.
No, it's the kitty cat. It's the kitty cat playing with the bathroom door.
Keeps you entertained.
Yeah.
So I am going to. So I'm just dropping the link down below.
Perfect. Maraming salamat, ate.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're very welcome. So we have our friends here, and they would love to give you some love. Snow Show. Snow Show. May jacket ka na po, Snow Show. So ayan po, nababa ko na po kay Ashley na bahay po. Maraming salamat po. Iwanan niyo lang po ng bakas po, ha? Please leave a bakas. At ano po, babalikan niya po kayo. Thank you so much. Magmahalan lang po tayo. Say I love you lang po. One word. One word, I love you. Ayan. Alright. I think I already share it. So now, I would like, I have a note. Because you know,
Yay!
I'm scared with my notes.
Well, I cannot see you or your notes, so I won't get nervous, I promise.
Okay. I am so happy that you come and join us today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for saying yes to the invitation.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, my pleasure. And I would love to hear your story. We would love to encourage everyone that we have here and the viewers. So our part one for our segment is tell your story. This is true.
Okay.
Your story is very true. Tell us your story.
Okay, so when I was born a preemie, but other than that, I was pretty healthy. I was a healthy, happy little girl. You know, I was my parents' firstborn child, so you can imagine I got lots of love. I was the first grandchild, so lots of spoiling. And yeah, so things were okay. And then around 12 years old, I started getting like moments where I would be fine, and then the next day I would be so sick I couldn't get out of bed, and my joints would hurt, and sometimes it would hurt when I was trying to breathe, and then I started getting these really weird sores on my skin, and it would look like acid burns. I would get it on my face and on my hands and different things like that, and it was quite intense. And so for 2 years, I was really sick, and it wasn't always the same. It would be like one day I would be sick, and then I would be fine for a week, 2 weeks, and then I would be really sick again, and things just slowly were getting worse. And so for 2 years, I was going to specialists and doctors and seeing different doctors and in all kinds of different areas of medicine. And finally, a week before my 14th birthday, I was diagnosed with SLE lupus. And there are 4 kinds of lupus. Lupus is an autoimmune disease where the body, if you have germs that enter your body creates like antibodies and fights them off. So my body gets confused and attacks its own cells and its own tissues and stuff like that, because apparently I need to fire the general of my body's army. So yeah, it gets confused and it attacks its own cells and its own tissues and different things like that. So that really created a lot of problems, because it wasn't just to the rheumatoid arthritis. It wasn't just to the skin issues I would have. I was losing hair. I was really sensitive to things. And then I was put on 2 medications. And one of the medications I was put on was a strong steroid called prednisone. And prednisone is used today for a lot of things. Sometimes, even if you just get poison ivy and it gets really bad and really out of hand, sometimes they'll give you prednisone to kind of calm inflammation down. So I was put on prednisone. So, oh, the joys of being a 14-year-old young woman. By that time, you're a young woman. So you're already dealing with becoming a young woman, and you're put on a steroid that affects your hormones and your weight, and a lot of crazy drama and stuff like that. But then I was also put on another medication, and this medication is called hydroxychloroquine sulfate, and it's part of the medication, the Quinn family medication, and that's going to come in a little bit later. So you're going to remember that. I was put on those 2 medications, and I learned how to try to think outside the box, because there were days that my arthritis was so bad, I would have trouble getting dressed, or I would have trouble trying to open things, or to do simple daily tasks. So I had to learn how to think outside the box, how to conserve my energy. So when I was looking at a day's events, I had to decide, okay, what are the top 3 important things that I need to get done today? And that can be really hard to learn to do that, because for me, working was a way for me to kind of get rid of thinking about all this stuff that I should have been dealing with emotionally. It was easier for me to focus on work. And a lot of times I didn't balance that, and I would crash my body because I would be working so much to try and try and make life work. Also to I wasn't from a super rich family, so I would be trying to make money. That can be that can be challenging too. Trying to keep a job when you're not feeling good, when you have a lot of health issues.
Agree.
Mm-hmm. So I dealt with that for quite a long time. I still deal with that. And then in the spring of 2015, all of a sudden I needed eyeglasses to read. And I started learning music with the Royal Conservatory of Music. I started learning piano at around 4 or 5. And so in 2015, all of a sudden I needed to use glasses. And so we went into the eye doctor, the optometrist, and we said, okay, I need to get glasses. Okay. And my optometrist said, I want to send you to an ophthalmologist because there's something different about behind your eye. And I haven't really seen this before. And I just want to send you to an ophthalmologist. I don't necessarily see something wrong. It just looks different. So I was like, okay. So we went to the ophthalmologist, and it took a little bit to get in to see him. And he's he's like one of the top ophthalmologists in Canada, and only a half hour from where we live. So super convenient. So we went and we saw him, and he said, yeah, he goes, there's something very different behind your left eye, but I don't see any damage. I don't see anything wrong. He said, you might lose some vision in there because it's different. So we're like, okay. So slowly over time, I wasn't able to see as far. And so we would be driving in the car, and a sibling would, say, look at the horse out in the field, or look at that building. And I'm trying to see it. I'm like, how do you see that far away? Not realizing it wasn't far away.
It wasn't far away.
Yeah, it wasn't far away. I was losing my sight. And so this went on, I think about maybe a year, that I rapidly started losing that distance and not realizing it. And so one day I was crossing the street to go to the library, and I checked, the road like I normally do, and I stepped out to go across the road to the library. And all of a sudden I hear this car slam on its brakes. You hear that. And I was like, and it was then, and I was kind of shocked, not because of what happened, but all I could think of in my mind was, I didn't see that car.
Yes, you didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I didn't see the car. And so the guy, he was yelling at me. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, you didn't see me? And I'm like, I didn't see you. I'm sorry. So he asked if I was okay. I was okay. I didn't get hit. Mm-hmm. But so after that, I started, I didn't want to tell anybody that this was going on, because I was like, and by this time I have developed, so not only did I have lupus, but I started to develop problems with seizures, problems with malabsorption. I'm now type C malabsorption disorder, Reynolds. So I had started to develop all of these health issues just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
And I got tired of having to see doctors and specialists, and I just didn't want to see anymore. So I didn't really tell anybody that this was going on. So I would always get my brother to come with me whenever I needed to go do something. And so my brother thought, this is odd. And on the street, like down from us, there are 2 bars. And so my brother didn't know if there was an incident there that had happened when we were because there's been times when my sister and I were walking down the sidewalk, minding our own business, and interesting people decide to call out, and so my brother didn't know if there was a situation that had happened. So he said to me, he goes, why do you need me to come with you all the time when you're walking? Because I was in my 20s, why? So I said to him, because I was, I think by this time I was 26 years old. So I was 26 years old by this time. And I said to him, I go, well, I said, I'm having trouble seeing the cars. And I just want to make sure, you're with me. So anyways, later, all along, I had been getting really clumsy. Mm-hmm. So if anything had been moved even a little bit, I tripped over it. If you didn't move it, I was fine, right? Because I memorized my house. Most people can walk around their house in the middle of the night without turning a light on because they have their house memorized. So that's the same with me. Yeah. So my mom loves to move furniture around in the living room, and she didn't know I couldn't see it. So I just stopped going in the living room. I just wouldn't walk through the living room. So
sorry, I have to ask a question. So do you think it's because you don't wanna admit yet that you're losing your sight? That's why you're not really telling everyone?
Yeah, I think at that time, I was like, I think in my mind, I didn't think I really was going blind. I think I thought, I just need stronger glasses.
Yes,
something like that. I don't know for sure if it was like 100% denial or just, I need stronger glasses.
Yes.
So when my mom talked to my brother, she said to me, she goes, you can't see, can you? And I said, well, no, there's some things I'm struggling with. So we called up the optometrist, made an appointment. We went in, and my vision had been way worse. And so I do have I forget what it's called. It's a condition where the muscles in the eyes are constantly focusing and unfocusing. So those muscles are constantly moving. There's a lot of people who actually have this, and they learn to live with it. And so he said, there's this eye training you can go to. And it actually was thousands of dollars. And we didn't have the thousands of dollars. And I said to my mom, I go, let's just wait until we talk to more doctors about this,
Yes.
So we wanted a second opinion. So we got referred back to the ophthalmologist I had before. And he said, wow, he goes, your sight is a lot worse.
Yes,
and he said, but I can't see why. Your eyeballs look healthy, the nerves look healthy.
Yeah.
So he goes, I'm going to get you to go to the IVI Institute in London, Ontario. So that's quite a distance away. So when my mom heard that, she got me enrolled into like a blind organization to try and get me used to thinking outside the box of how to work around life, how to work, like the oven, stuff like that.
Wow.
So quite a lot to deal with when you're mid-20s, right?
Just a sec. I'm just going to acknowledge. Zuskal Entertainment is saying, I'm so sorry to hear all of this. Thank you, Zuskal, for being there. And thank you for listening. Thank you so much for acknowledging our guest. Thank you so much in the Garlic delay. Yeah, and you can go ahead.
Oh, that's so nice. I feel the love. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's a lot to go through as somebody who's in their 20s. And there's even actually been more traumatic stuff that I've had to go through and deal with, but a lot of it's really personal and private, so I don't discuss it a lot. But even just this health stuff is a lot.
Yes.
So when we went to the IVI Institute, Now, remember, this took, I think, 2 or 3 years before we actually had an answer that I was blind.
Wow.
So we didn't know for sure how much sight I was going to lose. So
like we don't know when it's going to stop. Like we don't know, and no doctors cannot tell too. Like nobody can really tell that it's no, you're gonna be, like give like no, you're gonna be blind. No, you're gonna be, what I mean? Like they cannot tell.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
And my grandmother had cataracts, and she passed away before I went blind. Like she passed away, I think, during the time that I had to get glasses. So it was before we found out that I was going blind. But my grandmother had cataracts, and she had a surgery that fixed it. So I think all this time, as every time I had to go back to an eye specialist, or I had to do an eye test, and we saw that the vision was getting worse and worse and worse. I think in my mind I thought, oh.
I think her signal is getting slow. Hello, Yan Vlogs. Mega shoutout. Thank you sa patangsak, Yan.
More. I was getting more depressed and discouraged because all of these, every time I was going back to an appointment, it was getting worse, right?
Yes.
So you fast forward that to the summer of, this is where we see how good my memory is. So by 2018, I was, I think, completely blind in my left eye. So I'm completely blind in this eye. This eye, I can see a little bit till about that far away, but it is so blurry. I can't really see what it is. I can't see colors, so I can't really see colors. I can see, apparently I can see the color orange, but to me it looks brown.
Oh.
So I can I know that it might be a color, but I have the color wrong. So that's the only color I can see out of my right eye. So by the time summer of 2018 came along, I went from being someone who was very outgoing, enjoying life. I was teaching piano. I was, all before this, I was teaching piano, and, I was doing stuff, having a life. I used to enter pencil drawings and paintings and competitions, like art and visual life, right? So by the summer of 2018,
that was not a long time ago. That was not. Oh my God.
Yeah. So 2018, I realized, this is hard. Like I was realizing, I was going from being a somebody to a nobody, and I became invisible to everyone.
That is very, you know what? When you say from somebody to nobody, from that is big. That is big. That is big.
It gets better, but like the reason I want to show that part is because the more you know about something, the more you care.
Yes.
Right? If you don't know something, you can't care about it. Right?
Yes, that's why I'm so happy. I feel so privileged to have you and to hear, because a lot of people doesn't know until you cross that bridge, until you been there, you're in that shoes. That's when you know what it really is. And yes, please go on. Yes.
And I had no idea. So I was going on YouTube and I'm looking up these big blind YouTubers and trying to figure out what to do with my life now. Like I could not, because I felt like my whole life had been ripped away from me. Even my music, everything. Like I just felt like it was all gone. And I go on YouTube and I listen to these YouTubers and they go, oh, like they acted like everything was right.
Pasensya na po ha, medyo yung niya, signal. Ibaba ko po yung bahay niya ha. Palablab po. Lablabin po natin siya. Maraming salamat po.
And so I was so stressed out about all of this, and I couldn't find anyone who was talking about real stuff. Everyone was, they were all being like super happy and everything's good. And so I started thinking there was something wrong with me. There must be something wrong with me because, I'm over here like crying and not being able to figure out life. So I decided to start my YouTube channel. And I started to share about how hard my life was, how different everything had to be. And so in the summer of 2018, by this time, like I said, I felt like I was a nobody. I was invisible. When I was out and people saw me because they couldn't believe that someone as young as me was blind, and my eyes, like, they're not closed all the time. They don't have cataracts over them. I would have teenagers come up to me and go, "Can you see this? Can you see this? You're not blind, you're faking." My life is hard enough without somebody coming up and saying,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, very, yeah.
And it's because they didn't know. It's because they don't know.
They don't
Right?
know.
They don't know.
They don't know, and they don't know how it felt. Like, they don't know how it
Mhm.
felt to be blind. They don't know how
Mhm.
sometimes
feel like-
ignorance,
Mhm.
innocence and ignorance. you know?
Yeah. And also, too, I think it scares people because they think, wow, if that could happen to someone like that could happen to me. And that makes them mean and scared because they don't want to think about that. So, by 2018, I was in a really, really dark place. I was really, really bad. We had a guest speaker come to our church who had a Christian camp, and he said, "We're looking for volunteers. Anyone who wants to volunteer, we will take you. We need volunteers." So me, being very sarcastic at this point, I said, "Even me."
You make me laugh and cry.
That's how you get through life. We're crying. So I said to him, like, "Even me, you have something even I can do." And he said, "Yeah." I go, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, I see you play the music. I see you get around. He goes, "You know how to do things." He said, "How would you and me, I think 2 months. Yeah, I think it took me 2 months to learn all the Braille. About 2 months. So I worked really hard on that before going to camp. And I took some Braille stuff with me. And I volunteered at the camp. I worked in the kitchen. The whole time I was there, I was teaching everyone else around me how to work around blindness and stuff like that. And one thing that really inspired me the whole time, I'm a Christian. I go to church. I believe in, some of the stories. I believe in the stories in the Bible. And there was a book of Daniel. And he's very famous for being known as Daniel and the Lion's Den. But people forget the beginning of his story. When he was a teenager, his country was overrun and overtaken by another kingdom. And a popular thing during that time when a country was overtaken was if you were not good enough to be a slave, if you were not healthy enough to be a slave, you would actually be slaughtered in front of your family members as a reminder that you are subject to this new king. You have no choice. These are your options. So the fact that Daniel, in the story of Daniel, his friends, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, yes.
School teachers. Yeah. It mentions his friends.
3 friends, yes.
But it doesn't mention his family.
No, yeah, it's true. Yes.
So it's possible that his parents and siblings may have been killed right in front of his eyes.
Yes.
And yet, even though he was taken as a captive, he was taken as a slave. He did not know that he would be made a prince. He didn't know that at that time. He thought he would be taken as a slave, because that's why these young men were being very good situations for captive slaves at that time. And how that this young boy, because it says that he was a young man. So in the Hebrew tradition, a man. So considering he was a young man, he probably was a teenager when this happened. And that he would still get through it, and he would still do what he knew was right. And so that just, I never paid such attention to that story until after I went blind. And I thought, you know what? Of pain, there's a lot of trouble. And this is what I tell people. There is something called the little blind box. Everyone who's blind is supposed to fit in this. You do nothing because you're in the little blind box.
Yeah.
And it's safe in the little blind box. You'll be safe there. You won't get hurt. You won't be faced with a lot of problems because you're safe in your little blind box. But if you come out of your little blind box, you have problems, and you have, because you left the blind box, but you get amazing experiences, amazing life. You can have a bigger life than you ever imagined. So at this camp, this was a pivotal time for me.
Amazing.
I met a Filipino couple.
Amazing.
Who ran a children's home in the Philippines, and they said, they needed workers to teach the children English and music, and which is something I could do. So I got talking to them, and I talked to the camp director, and I said, do you think I could go there and do this? And he said, yeah, I think you could. So I was like, okay. So I started making plans to go in January of 2019 to the children's home in the Philippines. So, yeah, thank you. So my family kind of was like, okay, well, you might as well do something fun. They sent my brother along. Because they didn't want me to get kidnapped or something.
So your parents love you. They love you so much.
Yes.
That's why.
Yeah, so they sent my brother along. And like I said, remember, all during this time, anytime someone came up to get to know me, they never got to know me. They wanted to know why I was blind, and that was it. No one ever asked me what my favorite food was. No one ever wanted a relationship outside of getting answers to why I was blind. And even some of my friends that I had at that time felt awkward because, I was so different from before that it just was awkward for them to be around me. And so I felt very isolated and very alone. So while I was at the children's home, the mom figure who was in charge, she introduced me to a couple of young men over there. And that's actually how I met my husband.
Oh, wow. So your husband works at the church, at the camp?
No, he was attending that church in the Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was attending that church in the Philippines.
Awesome.
And when we met, he didn't speak English. So we had to use an interpreter. And one thing that really impressed me was he asked me, how was your flight? Did you like the food? How is it different between here and what you're used to? What have you done here that you enjoyed? And he was having a conversation with me. He didn't bring up blindness. He didn't say, what's your story? He didn't, because I say to people, you wouldn't go to somebody that's in a wheelchair, missing legs, and go, how did you lose those? You don't say that.
Yes.
You don't say that. That's rude. But people go
I'm
to
so
someone who's blind.
say that because even me, I ask apology for everyone because of just innocence and ignorance. You know, like you don't think, when you're on that shoes, those are the things that you don't want to hear. Like you,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my god, I, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that.
Oh,
Many
me
times, maybe
too.
before. I'm so guilty. Yes.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Like I often tell people, you know what? I had no idea until I was thrown into the world of the blind. I had no idea. I thought they were all like, Mary Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie. That's how I thought blindness went down. So all of this crazy. So he fell in love with me right away. He said, he loved my smile. He said it was an amazing smile. I have crooked teeth. I don't know what he's looking at. He said, he loves my smile. He loved my laugh. And he fell in love with that from like day one. And I was supposed to meet another young man who I had known about since June. So for 6 months, I was supposed to meet a different young man. And I had prayed about it, and I had prayed about it, but I didn't have a peace. And I thought, okay, it's just because I'm nervous, because I'm excited, because I've never done this before. So then when I met this other young man who just really showed a lot of love and attention, I remember praying that night, and I said, Lord, I was not expecting there to be two men. So I said, if you have one you want me to have, you better show me, because I don't know. So sure enough, over the next 2 days, I prayed about both of them separately, and God gave me just this huge peace about William. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going with William. So at that point, I still wasn't in love yet. I liked him. And I think at this point, too, I was also scared to love somebody, because I was scared I would be rejected, or, because a lot of people see my blindness and they go, ooh. But then when I start telling them about all the health issues, they go, oh. So I was always scared to love, because I didn't feel like I was going to get that love back. And I did with William. And so we got to know each other in the month of January of 2019. Wow. By the end of that month, we got engaged. I came back to Canada. I had to finish out a teaching. I had a few teaching contracts I had to finish. I was teaching music and everything like that. So I had to finish those contracts. So I finished those out, and we got married in September of 2019. We got married on the South China Seas. And the coolest thing, remember, I said I started losing my sight in the spring of 2015.
But
got saved and joined the church. I met him in spring of 2015. So the very same spring that I started going blind was the very same spring that he joined that church that I did meet 6 months later.
Your love,
that was a bit of a comfort for me, knowing that I had a purpose still.
I saw the picture that you have there, and it was beautiful wedding. I think your Wi-Fi at the internet is a little bit slow. But yeah. Well,
go on YouTube, because my parents and my husband were trying to plan the wedding, and I just could not. Oh, it might be. Oops. I hope the Wi-Fi figures out.
I did not hear that. I did not hear that last part. I did not hear of that last part.
Okay, so my family and my fiance were trying to plan our wedding with me. Like, I just felt like
Sorry, Ashley. I really like to hear this part, but I think
broke down, started crying, and I grabbed my camera. I don't know why. I really don't. But I grabbed my camera and I started filming why I was crying, why.
Make a shoutout po, Papa Moon and Jewel. Make a shoutout, Timata Vlog. Hello, Hinday. I'm gonna put the... I think her Wi-Fi, her signal is... there's something wrong with her Wi-Fi. I'm going to drop down the link again so she can come up. Hi! It's hi! You're back! It's like, oh no, I want to hear more.
This is what it's like video chatting my husband in the Philippines.
It's like broadband long time ago, like, ooh, it's gone, and ooh, it's gone.
Yeah, because my husband, he uses like load or data or something. Load? I think
Yes,
load.
data is really bad. It's bad.
Words.
Just a sec. I'm going to acknowledge hello, Papa Moon and Jewel. Thank you so much for coming. Mega shoutout po sa ating 10 million viewers. Thank you po kay Yan. Thank you po kay Dimata Vlog. Thank you po kay Papa Moon and Jewel. Say I love you lang po, one word, at magdikitan po tayo, ha. Pakilablab po natin si Ashley. Maraming salamat po. Andito po sa baba, Ashley, ang bahay niya. Pakidikit lang po, ha. Sabihin ko po na balikan niya po. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much. Shout out to your co-host. Yes, shout out to you, Ashley. That's Papa Moon and Baby Joel. Papa Moon and Baby Joel, he is in UAE. Yeah, United Arab Emirates. We have 10 million viewers from all over the world saying hi and saying hello to you.
Hi. Wow. Now I feel like there's a lot of pressure.
No stress, no pressure. It's just, yeah. I was worried that like the Wi-Fi, when the Wi-Fi was gone. Yeah. I was worried there for a second, like, oh my God, no, I want to hear more of her. And then the Wi-Fi, please come back. Anyway, yes.
That's too funny. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying my story.
Oh my, I love it. I love your story. I love how amazing the person you are. Like, I love how, how you look at life, how you having all these things. Like,
and I stayed in the Philippines. So my family came back to Canada. Sorry?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I didn't get the last thing. Oh, okay. I didn't hear the last thing that you said. I think it froze a little bit.
Yeah, it froze a little bit. Yes. Yeah.
So I stayed in September, and I stayed with him until. Yeah, and I think it lags a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, so I stayed until February, and I was having some health issues. I had to go to the hospital a few times in the Philippines, and I had to come home in February of 2019. And I had gotten here. I was with my family. Something came up, and I needed to go to the hospital here. And while I was in the hospital, they closed down the international traveling.
Yes, because of the the crisis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I have been here since February. So we've been apart our first Valentine's Day together. We've been apart even our first wedding anniversary. We had to be apart. Recently, we just lost our house in the Philippines. So there's been a lot of stuff that we've had to deal with. I still don't have a place here because
Thank you po, Papa Moon. Salamat sa pagdikit po. Maraming salamat po.
And I couldn't get a job. And, it's hard because I know my husband is in the Philippines. Like I said, we lost our house because, with the pandemic, we couldn't pay the rent. We couldn't, and a lot of people think that a lot of stuff in Ontario, they think that a lot of the healthcare is free, but my prescription is not covered. I have to be on weekly injections. Those are not covered. All this, and it's hard. This is why I started a YouTube channel, because people think that, somehow they think we sit in a house that's magically ours. We magically have a house that we don't have money to pay for and do nothing.
You have to work hard. When you're in Canada, it's not like you sit around. You work hard. Work hard. Like when I came here, I had 3 jobs. Like I have to work Saturday and Sundays. Like I was doing housekeeping. I was doing cleaning privately. I was doing anything that I can do to live. So and with this crisis, it's just hard. And you know what? This is what I cannot understand. Like our medical for eyes and stuff like that is not covered, eh?
Nope.
Yeah, it's 80%. When I used to work, we have when I was working before I have kids, I was working we have 80% coverage for things like that. Like, but not all of it. If I'm not mistaken, because I think there's only certain things at work that is covered, which is really sad. Like, it's very sad. Hello po sa lahat. Pasensya na po ha sa pasensya na po, medyo lang po ang internet. Pero hayaan niyo po, babalik po yan siya. Naglalag lang po.
To hire me because he doesn't know. Like, there's no awareness.
Mega shoutout po yan. Salamat yan. Salamat sa lahat po sa ating 9 million viewers. Sa lahat po dyan sa baba, maraming salamat po sa pagpunta sa ating at salamat po sa pag-support sa ating kaibigan po, ang guest natin po. Maraming salamat. Nahulog po siya, yung signal kasi niya. She is with her friends at her friend's house. Doon po siya medyo po ang signal. Pasensya na po Maraming salamat po sa ating 10 million viewers. Maraming salamat po. You're back.
I'm back. So
you really, even the internet, everything gets glitches. Even the internet giving us glitches. So maybe you're probably getting used to this by now, or I don't know, because it's just sometimes it's the Wi-Fi is really
Yeah, that's how you know you're a true YouTuber. You can keep going. It doesn't matter.
Go. Yeah, it's true. It's like it builds your patience. YouTube can get into your nerves, and then you learn patience.
Oh yes. Oh yes. So yeah. So I don't make a lot of money from it, but sometimes I sell things that I make by hand. So my grandmother taught me how to crochet lace when I was only 4 or 5 years old, and so I've learned how to make a few things like this. This is my it's a crochet teacup.
Oh my, that's amazing. See, God bless. You know what? God bless you. God, I think, God, I believe that God prepared you. Like, whatever problems, struggles, God prepared you to be, to be able to deal with life, even with this health problem and issues.
Yeah.
I learned crochet in elementary because our teacher teach us, but I don't know how to make like that. That's amazing. I only learned the real, the basics.
During the storm, it's really hard to see that piece, but yeah, so
That's impressive. How are you able
like
to,
baby hats and stuff like that.
Ashley, you can put your, yes. Have you put your PayPal, your PayPal link on your YouTube channel? Because you can put it on your description.
I'm blaming the cold winter. That's what I'm doing. I'm blaming the snow.
So when if you can put your link, your PayPal link, because when people look at your the stuff that you make, they can buy out from there, and they can just use your PayPal. They can pay it through PayPal.
I don't know if you're there, so please say that you're there.
Nahulog si Ashley. Baba ko na naman siya. Internet talaga. May ka-shoutout po sa ating lahat dyan. Thank you po. Maraming salamat po sa pagpunta. Si I love you lang po at magdikitan lang po tayo ha. Puntahan ko nga si ano. Ayan. Hi!
There you go!
I missed that last part. Yeah, I missed the I didn't hear it. It was lagging.
So yeah, I make all kinds of little stuff like this, little delicate stuff. I'm not sure if you can see it.
Yes, I can see it. Papa Moon and Jewel says, "Wow, very beautiful, very good talent." She said.
Thank you. I also make stuff for babies.
Cool stuff.
Little baby heads.
Isn't that amazing? Oh my god, I'm so impressed. Oh my god. Being blind and being able to do that is very, very, very impressive. I don't know. Oh my god. I think you're the first person I know being blind and being able to do all those things. I know a blind guy, our neighbor before, but he knows how to sing. He's very good at singing. You got, wow, very talented. Nahulog na naman si Ashley. Nahulog siya. Ang streamer. Sayang, putol-putol ang kwento niya. Mega shoutout po sa ating lahat dyan. Maraming salamat po. Yan. Simulan ko po sa taas. Aini, maraming salamat, Mrs. Peterson. Shenli.
I think I closed the page. I think I'm back. Am I back?
You're back. Yes.
Hi.
We're here.
So I came back in February. I've been trying to do this, because like I said, I don't even have my own place. So I've been living a year crashing at relatives' house, and so that's been challenging. Also during last year, I found out, so I have a lot of health problems, and it was really hard because I had to go to some doctor's appointments by myself, and I had to come home and video chat about it with my husband. And so that was very, very hard. We found out in 2020 that I can't have children. That's a hard thing to find out, especially when you're by yourself. So we found that out, and then we finally found out in 2020, so it took 5 years. We finally found out why I went blind.
Oh.
So remember that medication I told you about back with the lupus, the hydrochloroquine sulfate that I was put on? What happens in some people who take it, it creates brain poisoning called quinism.
Oh.
So any medication that's part of the quin family has the potential to give brain poisoning.
Oh my
And
God.
with brain poisoning, it continues to get worse. There's nothing to stop it, and there's nothing to make it better. So my husband and I, we had to make the hard decision this year that I would not go back on the medication for lupus because it's not worth, to me, it's not worth, because quinism isn't just blindness. Okay, quinism is blindness, it's night terrors, it's insomnia, not being able to sleep for days at a time. It interrupts your eating. You don't feel like eating. If you try to eat, you feel sick. It affects your memory. There are days I will wake up and I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am. I don't know who anybody is. I don't know that I'm married. And it'll take maybe 3 or 4 hours before my memory comes back. There are times when even during the day I'll be doing something and I'll be like, what was I doing? I was doing something. What was I doing? So I've learned to make lots of notes. I am like the note queen. I always tell people, I'm like, hang on, let me write that down. I have to write everything down.
Now I remember. Now I remember when we were talking. It's like I'm taking a note of this. I thought it's just a habit because I used to do that when I was. Now it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not that organized. Ask my husband. I'm not that organized. So that was.
Wow.
It felt good to finally have an answer to know why I was blind, but it was very hard too because it just felt so final. So there's no remedy, there's no fix, and so that was really hard. But I'm really, really glad that I met and married my husband because he's kind of like my rock. So I'm in good hands with my husband. I don't have to worry about, different things that can come up. I like the way I look at things, because people say to me, oh, well, when you were sick at 12 with the lupus, you were cheated your teen years, you were cheated being a kid. With being blind, I was cheated of different things. I couldn't see my wedding. But I tell people this, okay?
Yes.
I would rather have had to deal with this while I was young and learn how to live with it than have my life all set up with my husband, have it happen, and everyone around me overwhelmed, leave me and have to refigure everything out as an older adult. So I would rather have it happen while I'm young and I can still learn how to work outside the box. You know, my husband and I, we have worked out routines. You know, when I was with him in the Philippines, and I had days that I couldn't remember things. He had a job that if he had to, he can just say, no, I can't work today. I have to stay home with her. So it's hard. It can be hard on our relationship for sure. But that's one of the beautiful things about our relationship is the harder things have gotten, the more we learned to really pull into each other.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of couples, what happens is because it's so hard, you get so focused on what I'm having to deal with, and your husband gets focused on what he has to deal with, that there's no reaching out. You know, you each working his own. And so one thing I said from the beginning, I said, you know what? I said, we need to communicate about everything. I said, if we're angry, we need to say we're angry. If we're upset, we need to say we're upset. We need to talk like we're three. You know, be like, you hurt my feelings. You know, we just have to have that open communication. And it's been hard. It's been hard, but we're making it. We're getting through it. And, you know, life, you know, we think that to be successful, life has to be easy. That's what we think. We think if it's not easy, we have not been successful. But that is not true. That's not true. Successful, what is successful? What is successful? You ask the richest person in the world, what is successful? You ask the poorest person in the world, what is successful? And they will tell you different answers, right?
So many different answers.
Yeah.
It's not money. It's not. There's so many views of success.
Mm-hmm. Success is, are you happy with your life? If you are, good. Focus on the things that make you happy with your life and keep working on making those better. If you're not happy with your life, ask yourself today, what is something I can change today to make tomorrow better? And you have to learn too. Is it something that I can change? Is it something I can change? If it is, okay, work on it. If it isn't, you have to sit back and learn to accept it. And there is no timeline, okay? You don't say, okay, I've gone blind. In 5 years, I'm going to be fully accepted and I'm happy. No. No, that's not how that works. Because every time you have something new, oh, I didn't think about this. Oh, how do I accept this? And make things work for you. Okay, so with me being blind, the before I went blind, I always, all girls dream about their wedding day, okay? All girls dream about, you know, oh, I'm getting married, Prince Charming, and I'm going to have this wedding. You know, all girls are like that.
Agree.
So my biggest moment that I had learned to love, I was an old soul as a child, my goodness. But whenever I attended a wedding and the bride was about to come out, I always loved looking at the front of the room and watching that groom. He knew what his wife looked like already. He already knows what she looks like. He's not waking up that day going, I wonder what she looks like. He knows, but he's still so excited to you know, like he's just, you know, and it doesn't matter if it's a couple that they have been together.
Big love shoutout po sa ating lahat dyan. Thank you po at nandyan pa po kayo. Maraming salamat po. Ibaba ko ulit si Ashley.
I'm back again.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So, continuing from our last segment, part 4.
This is good. This is awesome. So much fun. See how it's amazing how you can laugh at things like this. Like, it just shows how strong person you are. Like, it just shows how, how mature, how strong, how it's very inspirational. I tell you, he's such an inspiration. Oh,
Thank
I would
you.
love everyone. I would love anyone, my family, my friends, my cousins, my nephews to hear this. Like, so amazing.
Oh, thank you.
So
Thank
amazing.
you. So that last thing I was going to say about, that's what I was looking forward to at my wedding, was I wanted to walk in the room and see my husband's face light up when he see me for the first time in my wedding dress. And I was so sad because that's what I really wanted at my wedding. I didn't care about the flowers. I didn't care about the colors. I didn't care about any of that stuff. That's what I wanted. So my mom helped me work it out that before we went to the ceremony, so while everyone was seated, there was going to be a room, and we filmed this. It's on my YouTube channel. We filmed this, and my husband came into the room. He was blindfolded, and he was stood in front of me. I was in my makeup and my jewelry and my dress, and I had my hands on his face when they took the thing off, so I could see his face.
Right.
When he saw me for the first time, and it was the most beautiful moment of my wedding. And the next day after my wedding, I did have a little bit of time that I cried about the different things I wasn't able to see, but that's okay. You are allowed to grieve. You have to grieve what you don't have, so you can face the future. If you don't grieve, you'll never face the future. If you don't grieve, you'll never deal and move on. So that was something that that reminds me a lot to make things, when you have something that's going to be hard, it's going to be hard, right? Make something special out of it. So for instance, we found out we could not have children. I could not have children. That was something that was really hard for my husband and I, because we were really looking forward to having our own children. And, we still celebrate Father's Day and Mother's Day, but we change it. So for Mother's Day, it's a day that he celebrates his wife, that he's thankful and grateful for his wife and shows how much he loves his wife. And for Father's Day, I take that time to show my husband and appreciate my husband. And I tell other women this, yes, as a woman, you will always grieve not having your own children, but your husband grieves too. And sometimes you have to let him, and we talk about it. We do. And I love this about my husband and I. We, even though it's not always fun to talk about these things. Like sometimes I'll say to him, on Facebook, I hear about my friends and they have, they're married and they have two children and they're having a third, or, and sometimes I say, I feel sad. Like, I'm happy for them, but I feel sad for me, and it's nice having that person that you can talk to. It's a safe space. And so my husband and I, we work really hard at trying to create a safe space within our marriage so that we know things are good. And I actually, I worked really hard in an online course. It was a 2-year course. I did it in 9 months. Being blind, I did that in 9 months. And so I got my certification to be a life counselor or a wellness coach. And thank you. And it's the best thing I did for our relationship as an interabled relationship, because I'm blind and I'm disabled and my husband is fully abled. And so there's a lot of strains, there's a lot of pressures on there to do that. So we, with doing this.
Ashley,
yes?
sorry to interrupt. Just a sec. Excuse me for a sec. But you can have the floor. Yeah. You can go on just a sec, okay? I'm just gonna check.
Okay. So for those continuing to watch, becoming this therapist or life counselor, like, it's never a good idea to be your husband's counselor or therapist, but I learned some things that were so helpful and so beneficial to me. And I wanted to share them with people who are watching because it might help you. So for my husband and I, the house that we lived in the Philippines, we had no money. So we had a mattress and we had an electric kettle. And that was it. That's all we had in our house. The bathroom was broken. The pipes leaked. We didn't have a kitchen tap. We had to get a piece of rubber piping to put that there. We had no hot running water, and so you can imagine it was very, very stressful, very, very hard. And so we tried to set up that our bedroom was a safe space that we could talk about anything. And if we were going to get upset, we would not discuss that in the bedroom. We would go to another room to discuss it, because that room needed to be a special place that was safe, that was, we were happy to be in that room together. And, that's I think that's important for families to set up as well. Have rooms that are safe zones. You're not going to argue in that room. You're not going to fight in that room. You're going to stay calm. If you can't stay calm, you go to another room to discuss it. And sometimes that really helps, because before you get up to go somewhere, sometimes you think, is this really worth, getting up and going and arguing about it? And so just so everyone knows, I can't see any of your comments for those of you who are still watching. But I want to thank everybody so much for watching, because this is how I raise awareness, by talking to people who can see, talking to people who are, a part of everyday life. And the more you learn about someone who's blind and how blind life works, the more awareness is spread. So I love that I have this opportunity to come on the Storm Family Adventure show and be able to share my experience, because, I have a very unique story, I think. And being able to share my story on here with all the viewers, it really helps people to have more of an awareness of how blindness works. And it's not as easy. Like I said, on TV, they portray, like this blind person grumpily sitting in a house they magically own with no job. It doesn't work like that. And I'm a very, very hard worker. I am. You talk to anyone I've ever worked for, and you know what? I still struggle every day. I still struggle. There is no work for me. Not because there's lots of jobs online. People are because of everything that's going on. There are a lot of jobs that are available, but because there's not enough awareness, I can't work. And it's not my fault, and really it's not the employer's fault. Just people don't know. So I love this opportunity getting to come on to channels, because usually what happens is you have one blind channel and then you have another blind channel, and they're like, hey, let's collab. Well, that's great, but we probably already have the same audience.
Yes. Your friends love you. Yeah.
Right? So when I come onto a channel, like your channel isn't really about blindness. I come onto your channel and there's hundreds of people.
You can make aware. You can let people be aware, be aware of what you've gone through, and how you overcome all this, and how, it's so inspirational. It has to be here. It's very inspirational. There are things that I struggled before, and then you think it's really, really hard, and that. But you know what? If you really think about it, there are things that are way harder than the things that you've gone through. Maybe it can encourage someone today that is going through a problem, like fight with friends, or struggle with relationships, or there's so many things that we go through. I would love them to hear you, how you overcome, how you deal with it every single day, how you smile at this struggles and these obstacles in life, you know, it's the trials, when you call it trials and stuff like that. Uh, it's very good to hear. It's very good for people to know. I'm so excited to hear all of this, because I myself make mistakes. Like I'm so
Me
guilty.
too.
When you said the example was when I see a woman or a man in a wheelchair, I was not pre-thinking that how I'm gonna talk to him in a nice way that he doesn't get hurt. Like, to a blind person like you, especially if I don't really know you, I would probably said something that is not, you know, like it's yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like, a lot of blind people that I know are advocates for themselves. So a lot of people, like, we shrug it off. You know, we get it all the time. You know, we get it every day, all day. You know, we shrug it off. So a lot of times we're really, really patient. And I usually chalk it up to, you know, people just don't know, you know, and it's, you know, it's difficult because most people in their lifetime will never meet a blind person face to face, because most blindness today, if it's cataracts or something like that, a lot of times there are treatments.
Yes, yeah, it's treatable.
Right?
Yes,
yeah. So the blind population of the world is what, 2% of the population? That's not a very big number.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Right? So, yeah, and bringing awareness isn't just, it isn't just, you know, talking about, oh, say this, don't say this. And it's more of letting people kind of prove themselves. Like, you know, just because you know one person who's blind, it doesn't mean every blind person does it that way, you know.
Yes.
So letting that person, when you meet someone who's blind, you know, you can ask them and say, oh, you know what, I did know somebody, but you know, if there's something that you need me to help you in a way, or you know, let them explain how they do something. I've had people say to me, no, blind people do it this way.
Yes, yes.
You're not
See,
blind.
that's how
What?
rude. That's how rude can anyone be. That's how rude, because
yeah,
see,
and it happens.
Exactly what you're saying. Exactly. Guilty.
So that's something that I try to do with my YouTube channel. Another thing I want to do is, once it's monetized, so a lot of people don't know this, but in Canada, if you are just blind and you don't have any other health issues, you cannot get a disability pension. You can't.
And not everyone knows that. Everyone just generalized. Like,
yeah, everyone thinks, oh, you know, if you're blind, you get disability. And actually, Ontario has the lowest amount for disability pension per month.
oh,
So to rent an apartment, not even a big apartment, not even a house, is around $1,200.
yes.
Do you know what the disabled pension per month is? Roughly, approximately $800 a month.
So how are you gonna afford that plus food?
They don't.
Bills.
So a lot of people who are disabled, they stay in abusive relationships. They end up in homes that it's not a good environment for them because they have no other choice. A lot of them end up on the street. So one thing that I want to do when my YouTube channel becomes big enough that I can start monetizing, I want to make up little packages. So like dental kits that have a toothbrush, toothpaste, floss, that every person who is blind in Canada, I can mail that out to them. And then as my channel gets bigger and it can make more money, then I can also try to make up other things. Even just a thinking of you package that has like maybe a little thing of cookies and crackers and coffee, just so you know, someone out there, you're special to someone out there. Because there are times, like on my YouTube channel in the bottom, I actually have a PayPal link. And once maybe every 5 or 6 months, someone might send $20, and that might not seem like a big deal to anybody, but for me, that's I think that's close to how much I pay for my injections. So for me, for that, you know, that helps. Yeah,
that helps.
And you know what the bigger thing is? It's not even the money. It's just the fact that there is somebody out there that I'm not invisible to. Because You know, every time I go out and I go in the store,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
and I'm shoved aside or someone pushes me, you get very discouraged. You get very frustrated because you're tired of being invisible. And this is really the plight of people who are blind. And this is the saddest part of the movie. And then I'll say this and then I'll go on to something better, I promise. But this is the saddest part of the movie. In the last 2 years, so this is the statistics. I had to search to find this because this statistic is hidden. 1 in 3 people who have had sight and then lost it, 1 out of 3 commit suicide. In my life alone, personally, in the last 2 years, I have known 8 people who I personally messaged with on Facebook. And you know, that's a huge impact. And you might say, well, why is that happening? I don't understand. Why is this happening? Who's letting this happen? And the truth is, people don't know because they're invisible. Like I said, you know, no one wants to listen to the person who's blind because they think they don't know anything. And that's the truth. If you go on YouTube today, I dare you, everyone who watches this, actually, everyone who watches this, subscribe to my channel, okay? But everyone who watches this, go on YouTube and you look up blind YouTubers and you will see hundreds of people on there advocating for themselves. They want people to know. This is like, stop watching Hollywood blindness. This is real life. I'm telling you real life. There's hundreds. And you know what? No one is listening. And you say, oh, that's why there's no change. And, you know, that's why I start my YouTube channel, because if you don't know, you can't care about something you don't know. So raising that awareness helps people to realize there's a real need here. And you might say, well, I don't know how I could really help anybody. You know what? Anyone who's blind, we constantly need rides. You can sign up, you can volunteer in your local area, you know, find a Lions Club, you know, and say, you know, I have a particular, I want to help with blind people in the community. You know, hook up with your local Lions Club and say, I want to help the blind. I want to offer rides. I want to, you know, even if you're someone that's well off and you can spare like a loaf of bread or something. Now, I'm not saying everyone who's blind is you know, in a bad financial situation. Sometimes, you know, if you have like a richer family, you know, things are a little bit easier because, you know, your family takes care of you. But there's lots of things that can be done for the blind, and raising awareness is just the beginning. You know, I tell people, a lot of blind people don't believe in handouts. We're not looking for handouts. We're not begging for people to give us things. That's not our intention at all. Our intention is we just want to live life like everyone else lives life. You know, we want to be able to have our own home. We want to be able to have our own job. We want to be able to do our own activities, to garden, to cook, to, you know, that's all we want in life, you know. Yeah, and raising that awareness just really, really helps. And yeah, that's why I started my YouTube channel. And a lot of times, like, I'll share things. So at the beginning of February, I shared a post and I shared how, you know, at the beginning of February, I was not doing well emotionally. You know, I just found out that we lost our house in the Philippines. You know, like I said, I still don't have a place here. So, you know, I had all this stuff I was dealing with. So I made a post for my Facebook page and I created a quote at the end. So I shared everything I was going through, everything we were going through, because when I share and I'm real, that's when I encourage people. I don't encourage people by like, oh, today I did this, you know, that doesn't encourage people. You know,
agree.
Yeah, just sharing everything that's good for you doesn't always encourage people. It's when they see you go through something difficult, they see you go through something that's hard, then that speaks to them and they go, oh, wow, okay, if you can do that, I can do it, you know? And so I created this quote, and it's on Facebook. I have it on Facebook, and I said, me too, self-pity. Sorry, not sorry. I have a future to build and you're distracting me. Get lost. You know, and so then I started working on like some of my handmade stuff and some of my crocheted stuff, and you know, I maybe sell something maybe once every 2 or 3 months, but it's something, you know, like I don't give up hope that, you know, eventually my husband is going to be here. It will be easier when my husband is here because he'll have full-time work, but sometimes I feel like, you know, I still want my own work. You know, I still want to contribute to my household, to my family. My husband is more than happy for me to be a stay-at-home wife. He is more than happy. He would rather me stay home and rest so that when he comes home from work, we can like do fun stuff together and hang out and whatever. My husband is very loving that way. He's so cute. If you wanna watch something that's gonna make you laugh, I shared a video on my YouTube channel and it's called cutest YT couple bloopers, and it's just you can just see how much, because you know, when I'm on camera, a lot of perseverance, my strength.
I'm going to.
And I tell each other, we do our best, and God will do the rest. You know, and
Amen.
and we have to be satisfied. We've done our best.
I would like to give a shout out po sa ating lahat dyan. Hindi ay ni Set 1317 Holland. Hello po sa lahat. Mega shout out po. I would like to give a shout out to Aniset 1317 Holland. Thank you so much. Ina Garly Sile, sa ating 10 million viewers, thank you so much for staying with us.
Wow. I think it's amazing that you, Leah, have gotten so many subscribers in a short amount of time, because, you know, that's a lot of work. People don't realize how much work it takes behind the scenes.
It's a lot of work, yes. A lot of work, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I think that that's great how quickly you're building your channel. And one thing that I absolutely love, okay, because usually I get people who only have like 50, 75, 100 subscribers, and they reach out to me because they want to get subscribers from me. They never really want to try and help my channel out or anything like that. And a lot of times some creators are like that. And I love how you have, I think you have over 1,000, right? You have over 1,000 subscribers?
Yes, I have 1,890 right now at the moment.
Wow. Wow, you have almost 2,000 subscribers, and you reached out and you wanted to help build up my channel. You wanted to, you know, and I think that is absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
You're reaching out and doing that. I think that is so much fun. And I really hope that your channel has a lot of success as you share people's stories. And, you know, this is what builds a community. And I hope with all my heart that Canada can become more like this, the way it used to be. When I was a kid, neighbors help neighbors. That's how the world ran. Neighbors would help each other. You had a neighbor that was going through something difficult. You would bring them food. You would bring them money for if they had to drive to places. You would give them money for gas, and that's the way the Canada I know used to be. And hopefully this craziness that's going on in the world around us, hopefully this really inspires people to be like you, where you reach out
so much.
and you are helping people, because you never know, someone who's on your channel, you might have given them the opportunity that they needed to get the subscribers that they needed to create their YouTube channel so they could work from home, be with their family, because that's what we need the most these days. We don't need doting daddies who are at work 24/7 and never see their kids and give their kids everything they want. That's not what we need in this world.
Yes.
We need family units. And you never know, your channel just might be giving the exact opportunity that another channel needs to get the views, to get the monetization, so they can do something, they can make an impact. And I think that's amazing, Leah. Like I said, that's a rare gem I see in other creators, because people are so quick to try and, well, what's in it for me, And I love how you reached out to me and you're like, hey, you're just like, yeah, let's do this. And I'm like, okay, cool.
No, you're such a blessing. You're such a blessing. You're such an inspiration and such a blessing. Oh my God, I can't believe God has found ways for me to meet you, and I'm just blessed. Like I'm just blessed.
I'm blessed too, because it always helps to widen your circle, to bring in even more encouraging people. You know?
And you encourage me. You are an inspiration. Oh my God,
I'm meant for you being an encouragement to me.
Oh my God, God has blessed you so much. Oh my, yeah, I don't have a perfect word to say how to say it, but it's just amazing. And all these 10 million viewers that we have, I believe in my heart you have touched their hearts. I believe in my heart that you probably touched their lives and changed and imparted something that they haven't had before. This is I got a lot of with all the things that you share. I have so much in my mind, in my heart, to think about things, and because sometimes in myself, like sometimes it's too selfish, like thinking just what I don't have, what I like, being grateful and being being thankful and being looking at people that needs help, that it's not just looking, like you said, looking inside the box. Like you gotta look everywhere and see where you can be of help, like something like that. And
that's even something. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's even something that I still have to work on, being grateful for things, because, sometimes you can be really discouraged. And during that time, it can be really hard for you to see good things in your life, because you're dealing with a lot of stuff. And I tell people, because sometimes people compare themselves and say, I should be happier because I'm not dealing with whatever that person is dealing with. And I tell people this, we are all in the same ocean. Some of our boats are built stronger, though. And so when you see somebody who it seems like they only have a small problem, their problems are smaller than yours, and you're like, what's your problem? Come on, toughen up. And sometimes we act like that. Sometimes we act like that to our friends, I know people who, they have a meltdown because one of their nails got chipped. And I'm like, I just spent eight hours in the hospital the other week, and you're crying about a chipped nail? But you have to remember, not everyone is in a ship. Some people are in a rowboat. Some people are on a life raft. And, working all together in the same ocean, we can help build up each other's boats. And, like I said, I have to remind myself all the time, am I being thankful for what I have? And that can be really, really hard, because you can feel like, well, I feel like I don't have a lot. I feel like I don't have this. I feel like I don't have that. And, and like I said, it's okay to grieve that. If there's something that's missing in your life, it's okay. Cry about it. Let it out. Maybe talk about it. Talk about it with your spouse. Talk about it with somebody you trust, and say how you're grieving this loss or what you're missing, because until you grieve it, you can't move forward, right? And I think today we put so much pressure on people that everyone is supposed to be tough. Everyone is supposed to be tough. They're supposed to be an inspiration. They're supposed to be an encouragement. And no. Slow down. Take a deep breath. Because like I said, and share your struggles. You know why? That's what encourages people. When you're always putting pictures up on Facebook, your house looks like it's from a magazine. Your kids look like they just came from prep school. You look like you came out of the beauty salon. That's not encouraging anybody. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not encouraging anybody. But you share the days that your house looks like a tornado went through it. Your kid is covered in who knows what's on its shirt. And your husband comes home and he's grumpy from the traffic. And you share about all these things that you had to deal with that day. And you're like, oh, this is my crazy life. You know what? You just encouraged another mother who thinks she's failing, and she's not. So, a lot of times we think we are failing. You're not failing. I tell my husband this all the time. Falling down is not the same as failing. Falling down in life is an opportunity to learn, this didn't work. This didn't work. I'm going to try something different. Failure is when you've made the decision to stop trying, and the decision you make to give up. That's failure. So no matter who's watching this, I don't know what you are dealing with today. Maybe you haven't been able to see a loved one. Maybe you lost a loved one. This has been a long year for everybody. I don't know. I've lost quite a few people over the last 2 years, and some very close to me, some very special to me. I've been apart from my husband for over a year now. I don't know what you're dealing with today, but whatever you're dealing with today, if you're watching this and you're sitting up in bed and you're breathing and you're deciding that you're going to make it to the end of this day, you are a success, because you have what it takes to get through life. Because the person who doesn't have what it takes, they stay in bed and they don't make plans to make it past the day. But if you have plans for whether it's staying in your pajamas all day, if you wake up and you go, you know what, I'm staying in my pajamas all day, guess what? That's still a plan. You made a plan for today. You can be a success. And you probably already are a success. Okay? Don't let someone else's opinion of what life is supposed to be your guide for success. That is not true. Success is not what someone else thinks about you. Success is what you feel in your heart, in your soul, and you know in your mind. So you make up a list of what's important to you, what is a priority to you in your life, and start working on that list, and don't care what anyone else thinks, because it's your life. You're the one living it, and you're the one that's going to be the success in the end.
That was awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Oh my God, that was awesome. Because
You're making me feel shy.
I cannot add to that word. No, that's perfectly said. A lot of people compare to one another. Like, I used to compare myself to someone and all that, because she's successful in this way and that way. And no, there's no point of comparison. It's different lives. We have our own life and we have our own successes. We view success differently. Like happiness, what makes you happy? Just like what you said, I don't want to add to that. That was perfectly said.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I would like to say thank you to our 10 million viewers for today. Happy Sunday, everyone. Who is the co-host? Oh, he's asking who is the co-host. I don't know how to do it. My cousins, her husband is a Korean. She always
Oh,
do this. Her husband,
sweetheart.
two cousins are married to a Korean from South Korea, so they always do this. They're so
Okay.
cute. They're so cute, and it's so cool. It's good luck, remember? Right?
The kids in the Philippines taught me that. The
Yeah,
children in the
I think it's
Philippines at the
lucky.
children's
Good
home.
luck. Yeah.
I think it's either lucky or love or something. Yeah. They also taught me this.
Awesome.
Oh wait, I think I'm supposed to.
That is so cute. You're amazing. You're amazing. Who is the co-host? I'm sorry, the Annie said hold on. Our co-host is Ashley. Her channel, I'm going to drop down her channel. Please check it out. And love-lovin natin, hindi ha. Ashley, I don't know if I read it right. Did I read your name right?
Mhm.
Ashley
L-Pay. And my YouTube channel is Your Canadian Blind Girl. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, Blogger, Facebook.
Good thing you say your last name. I didn't mention it because I could have been wrong how I read it.
I was like, in my mind, I'm like, she's Filipina. I'm sure she'll know how to say it.
Okay, I tried. Oh, it's awesome. So yeah, her name is Ashley. And her channel is down below here. I drop it down below. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I can't believe it. Almost 2 hours now. It's so amazing.
Wow.
We can just go on if we'd like to. But amazing. Yeah. And I don't have my list is still here. I haven't even.
I'm so sorry.
I know. I'm so happy. No, I want to hear you more. I want to hear you say more.
If you want to know how I keep myself busy while I'm waiting for, I'm waiting on my paperwork from CRA because my husband is still in the Philippines. He can't even come to visit me. We have to get paperwork in place. So I actually write my own Braille. So if you're not blind, I don't know if you would know very much about Braille. So Braille is a series of raised dots in certain patterns. And when put together, like they make letters and words and abbreviations and short forms for words. And so in order to write that, you need something called the slate and stylus. So if you see these, this is the holes. Okay, so this is kind of like a guide, all right? And you'll see over here is a series of holes. And I can write, I bet you I could write Leo's name in Braille, and I bet you she would think that's really cool. I think I'll do that. So when you're writing Braille, you actually need Braille paper. Now, like I said, usually if you're blind, you don't have a lot of money, and Braille paper is expensive. I'm really sad to say, this is really disappointing, but a lot of organizations that sell specialty items to people who are blind, it is actually overpriced because for us it's a need, and so eventually we will buy it. And because there's no competitor, we're always stuck paying a high price. So I don't have money for Braille paper. It's too expensive. So all I do is I go to the dollar store and I get a cheap package of 3x5 cards, like cardstock. It's a thicker paper, and I use that to write my Braille. So I actually will write Braille, and to make the holes, so it doesn't make a hole in the paper. It makes like a raised dot. So you use something called a stylus, and it's not sharp. Okay, it's not sharp. People always freak out when I bring this out. They're like, "Why did you give a blind girl a weapon?" It's not a weapon. It's not sharp. I do lots of crafts. I handle razor blades. I'm good. But it's called a stylus, and you use it to, I'll show you. So I don't think I can position the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. I apologize. I didn't think that through ahead of time. But I will write Leah's name in Braille, and hopefully you can see it when I show you. So hopefully I spell her name correctly. Alrighty, so, and here's a fun fact for you. when writing Braille, you actually have to, when you're putting in the dots, I'm not sure how well you can see that. So that's the back of it, because that's how you poke the holes forward to fill out the raised dots. You actually have to write the Braille backwards. So, fun fact. So it's a lot of learning, for sure, but it's totally, for me, it's totally worth it. So I just wrote Leah's name. Let me double check. So I have Leah. I hope that's the correct way to spell her name. And I'm not sure how well you can see this on here. Maybe if I tilt it. So I just wrote Leah's name in Braille. So that is Leah. So I just wrote Leah's name in Braille using my slate and stylus. Cool, right?
That is so cool.
Yeah, I just wrote your name in Braille.
Wow.
Do you see it? So here is Leah.
Wow. Honestly, this is the first time I got my name written like that.
Cool, right?
Very cool. This is the first time I've seen that. What's the name of the
Braille?
how do you say it? Red?
Braille.
Braille.
Yeah. So Braille was actually invented by Louis Braille, who he went blind in his father's workshop. And before this time, this was hundreds of years ago. Before this time, there was no written language for the blind.
See, I need to be educated about all these things. Even that, I don't. Oh my God! Yes, I don't. That is how you know how to write.
Yes, and actually, when you're writing Braille, because the dots have to be pushed to the top of the page so you can feel them, so my fingers can feel them, right? So,
okay.
So in order to do that, you actually have to do it from the back. So when I write it, you actually have to write it backwards than the way you read it. So that makes it a little bit challenging when you're learning and writing. But I am so glad that I did. And you want to know the sad thing? Braille literacy, so the ability to read Braille, is actually a glitch with it all the time. I don't know. Are you there?
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I think I missed that last part.
The Braille literacy in the blind population is actually decreasing, sadly. It's not being taught as much. When I first had an interest in learning Braille, I did apply to a very popular school for the blind that does it on kind of like online. And I did not find it very successful for trying to learn Braille. The person that I was trying to work with, she never seemed available, and there seemed to be some kind of, I don't know, there just seemed to be some kind of attitude, really. And I felt really discouraged trying to learn Braille with them. The instructions were not clear. And I eventually learned it on my own with a tutor from a blind organization in Canada. And really, she only taught me Braille as a favor. It's not normally taught as part of the organization. So that kind of really disappoints me, because when you have Braille, I tell people, be as independent as you can possibly be, because there is such a thing as relative burnout. So, you know, in my family, I'm in a family of 6. There are 6 adults living in our tiny house. And really, there's only 2 that really help me a lot, and that's my mom and my youngest brother. And you know what? If you're always on call, you can get really tired, and that's not the fault. Like, that's not a bad thing. You know, like, people I feel really bad for moms of children with disabilities, because I feel like when that mom is tired, people look at her and act like, oh, well, you shouldn't be tired. You know, this is your job. What? What? It's tired. I'm not even a mom. I only babysit and I get tired. And I'm not even around them 24/7, okay?
Agree.
Right? And
Mom
people
here.
do.
Thank you for saying that.
And when you're tired, right? People have an attitude. Right? People have an attitude if you say you're a tired mom. And no, it's called relative burnout. Like I tell people, if there's a blind person, you know how many people they need to get through the week? They need 8 people. One for a different day of the week, and an extra one in case someone is sick. Because if you always are having the same person helping, they get tired of helping. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. They're not a bad person. They're not a bad friend. They're just tired of always being the one that helps, you know. But being someone who's blind, sometimes you're scared to ask for help because you're scared that people. I've had times when I've asked somebody for help and they kind of like made a little bit of scene, like, and then help me, you know, because that makes me feel worse about myself, right? So as somebody who, and me does not actually make me super dependent. There are lots of blind people who live successfully by themselves. You have to remember, I'm not just blind. I have like severe rheumatoid arthritis. I have, so I have multiple health issues. So that actually makes me independent than I would like. But I tell people all the time, become as independent as you possibly can, because that just makes your world a bigger space. So in the kitchen, you have your spices, you have a Braille label on your spices, you have Braille labels on things. That way you have the freedom to cook your own meals, right? You have Braille books. So the power goes out, you don't have your Netflix or whatever you watch. I don't know. You don't have to sit and feel like you're all alone. You have a book, you can keep yourself busy. Stuff like that. It's so good to have that Braille training. And that's another thing. Like I said, if my channel gets big enough and I have it big enough that I can mail things out to other blind people across Canada, I do want to mail like a dental kit, like a snack kit. I know people think that sounds crazy, but you know what? If someone sent me some chocolate and some coffee and some tea, this girl would be so happy, okay? So, and then I would also send out like Braille kits so anyone can learn Braille. They don't have to pay. Some places, unfortunately, in Canada, you have to pay for like to be able to learn to do things yourself. And like I said, the technology and the gear that most people need who are blind, so whether it's a Perkins Braille, a Braille display, a CCTV that blows up images super huge so you can see it, like there are so many things that would make my life so much easier. They're thousands of dollars. And the only reason there's thousands of dollars is because it's a need and there's no competition. And so blind people eventually will try to find a way to pay for that, right? And, that's very discouraging for people. Like I said, probably less than 2% of the blind people in Canada are employed. Less than 2%. So there's a lot of people who do without a lot of things that could make their life so much easier. Like all of this just goes back to more awareness, to bringing that awareness to people so that they know the struggle and they're willing. Like if you're a business owner and you're watching this and you own a small cafe, you own a small business, whatever, if you are ever faced with someone who's blind who comes to your job, you now know, well, I know that they have the ability to work, because guess what? When we have our own house, we have to clean it. We don't have money for maids, so we can do janitorial. We wash our own dishes. We can wash dishes. We answer our own emails and phones. We can work in your office. Even cash registers can get Braille put on them at a very minimal cost, or even some government programs that are around Canada will actually subsidize wages if you have a disabled person working for you in your company. And so there's lots of opportunities out there for blind people to get employment there just needs to be more awareness. And so if every single person who's watching this, if you could share this video on Facebook, okay, if each one did that, like, I feel like that would just put a boom out there. That would just really encourage people, open people up to like, wow, I never really thought about blindness. Because I tell people this, you never know if one day in the future you might get in a car accident and you lose your sight. Would you be happy with the way the world is right now for the blind? Would you be happy in how you were treated? Scary, right? What about your own actions? Have you ever thought, not my life, not my problem? Oh, how many times have you gone past someone begging on the side of the road? And you go, not my life, not my problem. They probably deserve it. Careful, right? Because the tables can turn so quickly. Life can turn so quickly. Because before I went blind, I was working on piano. I was on a high level with RCM. I could be making over $80 an hour right now. Over $80 an hour. And life came along and swept the carpet right from underneath me. Right? Now, I'm planning on getting back to teaching lessons, not with all the craziness going on right now. I used to teach at 3 different music studios before I got married, which was great because the one lady that I worked for, her daughter was blind, and it just worked out really, really well because she knew me. She believed in my abilities. It was so great working for her. Every time I went there, I was excited to work because I knew I was never going to be doubted for my abilities, and I loved that. So I'm going to try and get back to piano teaching because I really need to try and get, I'm trying to sponsor my husband here, and I don't even have my own place to live. So I'm trying to get back into the music teaching. Right now, I'm able to kind of borrow a room to teach lessons out of, but it's still tricky because I have to get a curriculum set up because a lot of the books that I use for my students, I have to have them memorized. Right? So I have to have them memorized because my students are using them. And every so many years, the publishers decide to come out with a new edition. And what I've noticed is they don't necessarily add songs or take songs away. They just rearrange them and give it a fresh look. But now they're on different pages, and I have to re-memorize like 40 books. So I'm trying to come up with my own curriculum that I can use from different methods. That way I don't have to worry about that, and I can still stay on top of my game of teaching the best that I can. And I love teaching kids. They're just like a sponge, you know. They have lots of questions. They want to know, Mommy, why is that girl walking around with a cane? Why is that girl walking around with a stick? And I love it because I get to jump in and I say, well, my eyes don't work properly. Because you know what happens if I don't say something? What's the first thing you do when your child says something about somebody else in the store? What's the first thing you do? You shh. So now that child's going to be like, oh, that person's blind. We don't talk about that. Like we're the plague or we're a zombie, right? And it's not that parents are trying to be rude. They're not. They don't want their child to embarrass somebody else, and instead of taking that opportunity to try and teach the child and say, well, that person's eyes don't work. I'm not offended if you say my eyes don't work. I know they don't work. It's not a surprise to me.
Agree.
Yeah. And so when I'm teaching children, I love it because a lot of times those kids just open up and ask questions, and some of my biggest supporters have been past students that I have taught who they've even said to me, before we met you, we had no idea about blindness. We had no idea about people who were blind. And now we're always telling people like, oh, we know somebody who's blind. And I think that's amazing. That people who they're not blind, they don't have a blind relative, are now becoming advocates for people who, we have a voice, but like I said, no one wants to listen. No one wants to listen, And I notice a lot of times when you're on YouTube, sometimes you'll come across a channel that the person, there just seems to be something a little bit different. And a lot of times it's because they have become so lonely that, they have gotten a little bit relaxed in their social manners and how they behave socially. And so sometimes it can be a little bit awkward listening to people because you're like, oh, they sound really different. And a lot of times it's because they've just been so lonely for so long that, you know, the conversation just seems a bit different, right? So,
Yes.
like I said, there's hundreds of YouTubers trying to advocate for themselves and no one's listening.
And
So I'm thankful I'm on here with you and so many people listening. I mean, that's amazing.
I'm thankful for you, for having you here. You know what? Because when you are um some people, when they go through a problems, they just go and isolate. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of I sometimes I did that. I'm guilty. Like, if I'm, I'm
Me
just gonna
too.
go and just go in my box here and until and so that people wouldn't know, so that people wouldn't know what's really going on. Just keep it safe there.
Yeah.
And I am so happy that you being an advocate to share this, to open up people's mind, to open up young ones eyes, young ones mind about all these things. Like, you don't have to hide this. You don't have you need this to be heard and to be seen and to be so to educate everyone, to be aware, because uh ignorance and innocence and not being able to know. And it's hard. Like, it's not an excuse. It's not a but it's nice. And I really appreciate that you come out here and speak from the heart and speak what you've gone through, and let everyone know that these things are real. These things is true. This is what's going on in the world. Like, I agree. There is 2%, but that 2% is still a lot. That's still a lot, even if
Yeah.
2% that is there, that is not catered with the needs. Like, I hope our government, our government officials, our people that have power, people that have the influence, to do something about this. Yeah.
Well, the sad thing was, I was actually talking to somebody from the CRA because I needed a paperwork for my husband's paperwork because I'm sponsoring him to come here from the Philippines. And ignorance seems to come from that high of a level, and sometimes it feels like you're high of a level. So yeah, I'm hoping, I'm hoping to spark a change in Canada to create some positive. I want to dump.
Hi.
Hi. Okay.
I'm so
Hi.
sorry. I'm so sorry
No
for the
worries.
interruption of my sons, my kids. I'm so sorry. They come here.
No.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Kids are precious. Never apologize for your kids.
Thank you so much for understanding. So yeah, you're back because it was lagging again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I missed the last part. Sorry, I missed the last part.
Well, I was saying I was talking to the CRA about paperwork that I was supposed to get from them for my husband's paperwork to sponsor him here.
Yes.
Phone, I said that I was blind, and I had the number read off to me from. I had my phone, and the phone could read the numbers. And help you read the numbers. Sorry, but we're supposed to be living in Canada, in an accessible nation, and a nation that prides itself on diversity and embracing diversity. And yet, even from high places, we're getting that oppression, you know? So I'm just hoping with my YouTube channel, I can create some positive change in Canada, because what I know is any change that I do today will not directly benefit my future. It's too late for my generation. But if I can make a change today, at least I know that if I could have children and I had a child who was born, I wouldn't be worried about them, worried if they're going to be taken advantage of, if they're going to be discriminated, if they're going to be treated rudely, if they're going to have to deal with people bullying them. I still get bullied. I still get bullied as an adult. I've been told on social media, whether it's in messages or whatever, that I should not have gotten married and burdened someone else with my life. I've had people say things like that. Like, who says that, right? And like, there's so
Yeah, it's so easy for people to say things like that. Like, it's just
much. I think I'm back. I'm not sure. I think so. I can just keep talking to myself until I find out for sure.
hi.
Hi! I think my internet hates me.
I think it's just a glitch today for this. But it's okay. I totally understand. Everybody, I think, experienced the glitch in the internet these days. But yeah.
Did you have any more questions? Because I know you had some, and then I just kept talking.
Well, I like listening to you talking, but yeah, but I would like to right now. I'd like to say thank you, everyone. Thank you for our 10 million viewers. Salamat po sa inyong lahat, sa inyong lahat dyan. Thank you so much for staying and for listening. Thank you so much. Appreciate po namin ni Ashley. Appreciate po namin ang pagpunta niyo po dito sa aming live. Maraming salamat. Questions. I'm just gonna look quickly on my list. I just have some a fast track yes or no question just to know you a little bit.
Okay.
What is your just yes or no? I'm gonna read color red or pink.
Favorite color?
Yes.
Blue.
That's good. It's good to know it's blue. I like blue too. Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
You like chocolate? Chocolate or cake? Chocolate.
Oh, Thai. My favorite is birthday cake soda by the Jones Company. My favorite. Good.
Oh, I never had one. I've never heard one. What's that?
You need to look for that in the stores. It's Jones soda, birthday cake.
Oh my. Smart or handsome?
Kind.
City or mountain?
Mountain. Mountain.
I have an intermission. Just a second.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. To anyone who is still watching, I think that's amazing. I'm sure if you guys have questions, you could ask them in the comments. I think that would be fun. There's no awkward or wrong questions. A lot of times people ask if I know what my husband looks like, and I felt my husband's face with my hands, so I have I have seen kind of what he looks like and stuff like that. And I told him actually this morning, I told my husband that I felt his face when I was first introduced to him, and I was introduced to another young man and I felt his face to know what he looked like. And I said to my husband, I said, the thing I liked about his face, my husband doesn't think that he's handsome. I think he's handsome. But I said, his face, when I saw it, it had so much kindness in it. And I was so attracted to him for that, that kindness that was just in his face. It's hard to explain, but you can tell when you're seeing somebody. You can tell there's kindness in their face. And anyways, my husband is very kind. Maraming mabait, I think. I don't know.
Mabait, yes. Mabait.
I'm working on the Tagalog. I'm a little bit slow.
I'm so impressed. Tyler has been working to say Tagalog for a long time. All he can say is "Kumusta?" I'm so impressed.
I have learned, well, because I did not meet his mom until our wedding day. Can you imagine the pressure? So I learned, kinagagalakang makilala po. Ako si Ashley, mawalinggalan na po, paalam, hindi.
You are so smart.
Gusto mo ng halik?
So cute. Oh my god. You're so smart. Oh my god, you're so smart.
Thank you.
You're so blessed. Yeah, God has blessed you so much.
Mm-hmm.
So much. You can really see that you have a strong connection with God, like an anchor. It's like you have an anchor.
You have to. This world
Yeah.
is just so full of crazy.
Yes, agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna move on to this is a little bit of fun. So coffee or tea?
Both.
Both. Hello. So you speak Filipino as well. Annie saying that. Yeah, she does. For just few, like 2000, like, for just few months, and you learn right away with the. It's amazing.
I also learned with my husband, talaga. Talaga. Hindi. Or I've learned, Paki. Paki.
You're so cute.
Paki, oo.
I think you speak Tagalog way better than me.
You are too kind. I don't think so. I have to work on my accent.
That is so awesome. Okay. We have love story or horror movies.
Oh. Love story?
Same.
Yeah, love story.
I get scared. I get traumatized with my brothers when we're growing up. Every time we watch a horror movie, my body will tap me at my back, and it's like I freak out. Like, no more horror movies for me. Singing or dancing?
My husband doesn't like horror movies.
So, Aini is saying, are you a TikToker couple? TikTok couple.
I think I'm on TikTok. So there's I think there were 3 movies. Now that I know people are interested on TikTok.
Ashley, I think you're lagging. The Wi-Fi is lagging again. I'm just gonna put down the StreamYard. Again. Hello, Nanay Mel. Tamsak host. Hello, Nanay. Gising na si Nanay Mel. Ano na kaya sa Pinas? Gabing-gabi na. Co-host, is your husband as a Filipino? Yes, yes. Yes, Inday. Tagalog.
Get stopped. I don't know.
Hi.
Okay. I turned it off. I was like, working.
Okay, flowers or chocolates? Umaga na pala.
Both?
So Aini said 1317 Holland is asking, co-host, is your husband a Filipino?
Yes, he's from Bicol.
Wow.
So his first language, I don't know if you call it a language or dialect. So his first language is actually Bicol. He speaks Bicol.
Yeah, Bicolano. Merong Bicolano. We have a Bicolana here. I think
Really?
Cheryl. Oh, I think Cheryl is Bicolana. I'm not sure. I would like to confirm. Cheryl Kitchens and Vlogs. Oh, she is a very good chef too. Very good cook. Very good cook. That's why I'm asking because she looked the same, the couple on TikTok. So are you with TikTok with your husband?
We are on TikTok, but I can't remember if we actually put. Like I said, there was only 3 videos on TikTok, and 2 of them were by accident.
Okay. So they're not really TikTokers. Yeah, they're not really TikTokers because 3 videos and accidents and all that's not really.
I try.
TikTok can be fun too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like TikTok.
This is it.
No worries. I'm curious about the couple that's on TikTok because I don't know, maybe someone is putting my videos from YouTube on TikTok. I've heard of that happening before. People putting that on there. My husband, he's very shy, but he's also a lot of fun. So it's really fun when I'm trying to film with him because he gets really nervous and then his accent is really heavy. So it can be really hard for me to understand. And I'm like, what? What? Bucket? I'm pretty sure I just said that wrong. I'm still working on my Tagalog. I'm very slow at learning it. It's easier when I'm in the Philippines living among the people who speak it, but, you know, as where I live, there's not a lot of Tagalog around, so. I also learned, okay, so I also learned this phrase. It was really funny. I forget who taught me the word bastos, and I think it means rude or you are rude. I don't know the direct definition of bastos, but someone taught me that. And so one day I was joking and I forget who, someone was going to call us like early in the morning. And I said to my husband, I go, if they call before, I said to my husband, I go, if they call before 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to answer the phone and I'm going to say, magandang umaga, bastos. He said, no, don't do that. I don't remember what bastos. I think bastos is it means rude or you are rude, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So I said to my husband, I go, if that person calls my house before 7 in the morning, I'm gonna pick up the phone and I'm gonna say, magandang umaga, bastos. Talaga. Call mamaya.
It sounds so funny when you say it.
It'd be like, ikaw, masama. Or masama. I always get the wrong accent.
Thank you so much sa pagdikit-dikit. Hey, Ashley. Ashley, just a sec, okay? Just a sec.
No worries. You guys want to see my sister's cat? It's my sister's cat, but she's always around me. Come here. You were just at my feet. Come on. Let me see. Never mind. She's going to go play with the bathroom door. She's a very interesting cat. So I had to leave my little kitty behind. I had a cute, actually no, the cat, he's a horrid cat. He is so mean. I had a really mean cat in the Philippines, and he only likes me, and everyone else he bites and scratches and doesn't like them. And I had to leave him behind. And I miss him so much. And I had a dog, and his name was Chocolate, and I had to leave him behind. I'm so sad. I miss my pets. So, but I am excited about hopefully one day having my own place and I can have my own pets again. I miss that so much. I was going to show you the cat. She left. I'm sorry. Missy. 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 Oh, by the way, if anyone is interested in the stuff that I have created, I do sell it on my, I will be selling it on my YouTube Facebook page. So if you missed that, you can always check that out on my Facebook page as well. I will be putting those up for sale soon. I don't know when, but I'm going to try. So, yeah.
That's awesome, yeah. And it's nice when you post your. I actually just seen the creators corner that they're talking about products. You can post your products on your YouTube channel, and then as long as you have your PayPal there, and then you can actually, so people can just go and pay you, and you can buy your products. It's actually cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So I don't know how to do that yet. I just I watched it this morning. Yeah, but as long as you can always put your PayPal there, and then when you make a video, then you can actually show the products that you have. Papa Janelle, meron ka na pong jacket. Meron na po, Papa Janelle. Mega shoutout po sa iyo. Thank you so much po sa pagpunta. Meron na po, Nay, si Papa Janelle.
No!
Yeah.
No!
Oh, baby.
Aw, he misses his mommy. Or she. I can't tell by the cry if it's a he or a she. See, I don't know how to say boy or girl in Tagalog. I know how to say boy or girl in French. For boy, it's le garçon. And for a girl in French, it's la fille. But I don't know how to say it in Tagalog. I apologize. So I know a little bit of French and Tagalog. I was actually working on some Chinese because I knew that if you're a Chinese English interpreter, you can get some foreign work, which I really want to be back together with my husband. I miss him so much. So I was trying to figure out if I could get a paid position in China, because at least in China, my husband and I could visit each other, not like here, right? So, but turns out Chinese is a little bit hard for me to learn. I think thank you in Chinese is xia xia. I'm not good at speaking Chinese. I sound like I'm dying or something. I feel really embarrassed when I'm trying to speak the language because I'm scared I'm going to offend somebody, and I don't want to offend anybody. So I think it is so cool to be on Leah's channel and to invite me on her channel. I love it because, like I said, it's hard to get your channel. It's been a lot of fun. I really like it.
So I'm going to continue on my question. Actually, it's just can you hear me? I think
What?
Yeah. I think the internet is lagging again. But yeah, I would like to um give you. I would like to say thank
Little
you
bit.
so. It's lagging again. Yeah. Nanay Mel, help po. Help daw. Oh, thank you Nanay Mel sa pagdikit Nanay Mel. Maraming salamat po. Ah, ala nawala nga siya, nahulog na siya. Mega shoutout po, Papa Janelle. Nanay Mel daw, help. Hello po, hello pala. Hello po. Si host nang iwan lagi. Oo, Nanay Mel, umiiyak ang mga bata. Kaya, buti na naiintindihan niya. Buti na lang naiintindihan niya. Umiyak kasi ang baby.
It's freezing. It's freezing.
Hi.
Hi!
It was lagging again, but it's okay. Yeah, we're back. Yeah. So I'm just gonna finish off my question. I think what inspired you to make your YouTube channel? I think I did not. I think you mentioned it earlier. Yeah, if you could.
A little bit. I'll address it again real quick. Because as I was going blind, I couldn't find other people that were sharing the same emotional experience that I was sharing. And so I felt like my sight loss was very traumatic, and I felt like I was very alone in my emotions. And I felt like a lot of other creators on YouTube that were blind weren't sharing that experience. They were acting like, oh, if I could have my sight back, I wouldn't choose it. And I was like, I would. So that's why I created my channel, and also to create awareness, because I was just so surprised at how little I, as a Canadian, knew about blindness before I went blind. Like, I literally thought everyone lived like Mary Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie. So, yeah, so to create awareness, to encourage people, and so people know that they're not alone when they're going through a similar experience.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because some people are behind. I mean, not behind, but they come in late, so they.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I already. Words of wisdom and words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom.
To wrap up the whole thing. Thank you so much.
Okay, I would say that I think that words of wisdom, to remember that your success is not based on what someone else thinks success is. Your success is what you want from life. And as long as you still make your plans day to day, you are still a success. A failure is only when you choose to stop trying, and you choose to stop existing. And that's when you're failing, because I feel like a lot of times we want to give up when we're so close, like we just don't know the future, right? So you never know, you might just be that tiny bit right close to where you get your victory for whatever you're dealing with. So I think that would be my words of wisdom, if that's wisdom. If you want to check out some interesting videos about blindness, or at least my blindness, you can actually check out some of my videos on YouTube of why I don't look blind. That actually, a lot of people are really surprised that when they meet me, they're surprised that I'm blind because I don't look a certain way that they're expecting. So definitely check out that video, Why I Don't Look Blind, on Your Canadian Blind Girl. You can also check out another video that I did of why I'm blind. And I explain in there a little bit more about how I went blind from a medication that caused brain poisoning. So you can check that out on my channel as well. I actually just got a notification on here. I don't know how, because I have all my windows closed, like, the tabs. I have all my browsers closed, but somehow I got a notification that I got 3 new subscribers on my channel. So I think that's from doing this live, and thank you guys so much for that. I think that's amazing. I like so amazing, guys. Love it. I love it.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I would like to apologize for interruptions and
no worries.
Yeah, and that was really good to know you today and to hear your story. To be able to be educated. That's my first to be educated.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, and I would love to connect with you. Keep in touch, and I would like to say thank you so much. Our 10 million viewers, andyan lang sila. Thank you so much. May bagong basahin ko lang ha. Meron, I think I missed something here. I'm just gonna look at here. That's me. That's why you got notified, Ashley. Aini said that's me. So yeah, I have so many questions about blindness. Yeah. If you can replay, she tells a lot of story about the Nday. If you can go back and replay, she tells a lot about it. Yeah.
I can also I also tell people too, like through my Facebook page, I am open to people's questions. I think that's great because that's how you learn about me, how you learn about my blindness. So if you ever want to reach out to me about questions about blindness or the different testings I went through for blindness, different things like that, you can reach out and message me through my Facebook page, Your Canadian Blind Girl. You can also, I don't think it's called messaging on Twitter, but you can message me. You can message me on Twitter, however that works. So yeah, I would love to hear your questions and anything like that. I don't know if the cat's still up there. If you're hearing weird noises, it's because I'm filming in my hall. I don't have an area set up to film, so I'm in our hall upstairs, and the floor is really noisy, and the cat is walking back and forth and playing. I don't know how you can play with a bathroom door, but my sister's cat is, so. So something I tell people, I get paid sometimes to perform, to sing and play music at senior residences. And sometimes I'm faced with seniors who are losing their sight. And a lot of times they have a lot of fear and a lot of questions. And I always tell people, take time to sort through your emotions, take time through what you're going through, and learning to adapt is the best tool that you can do. Learning to adapt now, so learning to listen. We take listening for granted, like even me, you take listening for granted. But I tell people, pick a time of day, and every day you go to a room and you sit quiet and you listen and you write down everything that you hear. And I say you do that for 2 weeks, and you compare your notes from the first day to the last day that you were sitting in that room taking notes about what you were listening. And this is training you to listen. And you'll see after 2 weeks that you were listening. Your hearing doesn't get better. Okay, people think, oh, blind people, they have super hearing. We don't have super hearing. We've been trained how to listen. And so, like I said, you do this exercise. You pick a day, every day, the same time, you go to a certain spot in your house and you listen very carefully. First day, you write down notes. You do this for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you will be amazed. Like you could be sitting there with your eyes closed listening, and you could hear a fly in the room, a tiny fly. You can hear it. Maybe you hear in your house that you never knew made that sound. Maybe you'll hear training you to listen. And this is what I tell to senior residences. So like I said, I get paid to sing and play music. And I tell them, work on this, work on listening, because sometimes I can listen that there's an open door somewhere without having to touch everything. You don't want to be touching everything right now. But when you're blind, sometimes you have to touch everything. And sometimes even just listening, I can hear sound of an more open space. So
I have a question. There is a question here, Ashley. I'm going to read. Uh, uh, um, Ainiset 17 Holland. She has a question here. Um, um, I'm gonna go back because I have a question about blindness. Cause my daughter cannot see well. Um, I said she can replay the video that you said 2 hours ago. She will, and she said, hala, si Naimel daw nawal. So, hala, I'm so sorry, na Naimel, nahay daw si Naimel. Aniset Holland says, my daughter had a hearing loss and can't see well. Hindi, Aini. It is so hard for me sometimes to look at her. Oh my, this is, oh my God, this is a good, Hindi, Aini. I think God has brought you here, Hindi, Aini, so you can speak to Ashley. Oh my God, this is my daughter is hearing loss and can't see well, so it's hard for me to sometimes look at her. She is a mom. She's a mom. I'm worried at the same time. I think she's gonna be behind of this learning. Oh,
okay, so the first thing I would say,
I'm just gonna finish up. That's why I question why they call you Canadian blind girl. Now I know, I understand, because when I look at you, you don't look like, but you don't look like you're blind. It's nice and beautiful, and you cannot tell really, especially you speak nice and it's so amazing. I don't know how to deal with hearing loss and can't see well. Oh my God, Aini, this is the best time. Ashley,
okay.
Do you have a Facebook page? So I would like Aini set Holland, and you can connect.
I do.
Please. Yeah. Oh, just a sec.
No worries. Okay, let's see how good I'm good at navigating. Open up a browser. Hopefully I stay live, and I will try and put my Facebook page link in the YouTube comments, because I would love for us to talk about this. So the first thing I would say for you as mom, you need to make sure how you feel, okay? It's not anyone's fault, okay? It's not anyone's fault. And sometimes I think what happens is sometimes moms think, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have done something different. No, don't think like that, okay? Don't think like that, because you will be hurting yourself, and you'll be hurting your relationship with your daughter. So don't think about, oh, this might be my fault. This might be, whatever the case is. Also, something that I would think about is I would put really, really push learning. The best thing that any child who is blind or has hearing, education, getting a good education and finding a job that can be secure, because that everything else can kind of be fixed. So for instance, if she's in school and she's getting bullied because her eyes look different, okay, there are things that you can do. Like I say everyone, their eyes are unique to them and it tells their unique story. But in case she wants to cover it up with like prosthetic shells, you can get prosthetic shells that go over top of the eyeball and they look like everyone else's eyeballs. I actually, when I'm in public, I wear dark glasses. So I wear dark glasses so people can't see my eyes. And you might say, why? And the reason for that is, one, to protect my eyes, and two, I actually get a lot of people who they say things to me because I don't look blind. They say, I think you're faking. I think you're lying. No. So different things. I would encourage Braille learning. I don't know how old your daughter is, but I would really encourage Braille learning. But one thing as a mom that you need to know is a lot of moms will blame themselves. They will blame themselves and they will say, oh, this was my fault, or this happened. No. And even if it was somebody's fault, no, it's over. It's over. You don't keep doing that, because that false guilt, okay? You don't need to feel guilty. That false guilt will wear on you, and it will hurt your relationship between you and your daughter. Okay, so you want to make sure that you deal with that first. Okay, you want to deal with that first, and then have open conversation with your daughter. Okay, so make sure she can sit down and if she's having a day that she hates, she can say to you, what, I hate my day. I'm not having a good day, because you want them to be open with their feelings and their emotions. You don't want somebody hiding how they truly feel, because you can't help them if they're hiding that. You want to make sure that they feel safe to share what they're feeling and what they're going through. And like I said, the best thing I could encourage is really, really get on top of Braille learning. And if she's hard of hearing, finger sign language. So finger sign language is when you do it like in the hand. So A, B, C. I did this with kids in the Philippines. I played with them. I knew finger spelling in, I knew finger spelling in sign language. So I would play games like that, because I didn't speak the children's language in the Philippines. And so we played games like that. But that's something to really look at. And again, what I would really encourage is really, really push that open communication. And I would also set up that, try and have 2 or 3 people in a trust circle, so that if she doesn't feel like talking to you, like maybe, you know, she's a teenager, you know, when teenagers get in that moody stage and they don't want to talk to anybody, that she feels like she has people that she can talk to, so that if something comes up and someone goes, this doesn't look okay, you know that, you know, there are good people involved in her life, right? The worst thing you can do is over shelter and over protect. Like, of course, create a safe and protected space, but you want to make sure that you really get her education and really encourage trying to find work that is suitable when she is older, so she has that opportunity, that career opportunity as well. So you know, because for me, like, and this is for me, she's a totally different person, but for me, my biggest struggles is having my own identity, my own life, you know what I mean? There's something to be said about, you know, having your own space, your own schedule, your own work. And you can't achieve that without having an education, without achieving a career. So, and I know, like, I personally know a lawyer in New York, he's completely blind. He's completely blind. I know somebody who he's completely blind and hard of hearing. I don't know how deaf. You can tell when you're talking to him, and he is a successful DJ. So there are people out there who have successful lives. It's just what opportunities were presented to them and at what time. And of course, reach out to my YouTube channel.
Ashley, I'll read some of her comments here. Yes, Ashley, thank you. Yeah, she says thank you so much for your encouraging word. She's a mom and she felt guilty. She felt guilty because she said I'm a mom, I can see all her action. Even though I was in front of her, she can't see me and she freaked out. If she didn't see me one time, I have a scary story, but I learned a lesson. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard.
Okay, I would highly. If she gets startled by that, wear something, wear a bell, wear something that makes a noise on you, because if you're approaching her and that scares her, you know, talk while you approach her. I know a technique. I just remembered you said she can't hear very well too. There's actually someone did this, I think in Australia. I'm trying to remember. And her daughter, I think, was 4 or 5, fell off of a park. They were playing like something like swings, and she fell and got hurt. And she was deaf and blind overnight. And this child would get easily scared. And so what the mom did was she would blow on her arm or her hand, so she knew that she was there without touching her or anything. But if she can hear a little bit, and you can wear a bell, or you can do something that makes a noise while you're approaching, that can help. She will actually develop. I know people who've done this. They develop almost like a sense. They can feel when someone's in the room with them, but that takes a lot of time. But yeah, I would develop something where you're making a noise that she can hear, or like that. I think it was a mom in Australia who she learned to blow on her child's arm, like when she was trying to get her attention, so that she wasn't just touching her and scaring her. Yeah, that can be really hard. I would really encourage that you spend a lot of time cuddling, and even doing like almost like you rub her arm with your hand, so she learns your touch. She learns your touch, and she learns that your touch is always love, and she learns that you are, you know, she needs to learn your touch. So she needs to learn your touch. She needs to know that your touch is always love. You know, one thing I would highly encourage, I don't know how people discipline their children. I'm not a parent, but never use your hands to discipline. Okay, your hands are for love. You know, I would highly recommend that. Your hand is always for love. Okay, and you always want to make sure that when you're holding your child or cuddling your child or holding her hand, she knows that that is a love connection.
She have a comment here. She sleep with me every time she wakes up in the morning, even if I was beside her. Uh, if she didn't touch, she started and tried to find me and start crying. And she fell many times just to find me.
Okay, yeah. So
She's
that's
still a little
something.
girl. She's a little girl. I need Beth. What? How old is the baby girl?
Yeah, that would be my question. How old is she? Um, I think
If she's still really young, she can develop a lot of skills. That would be amazing to start now. You know?
yeah, yeah,
Yes, it
yeah.
would be amazing.
Definitely starting now is the key. Like even if she's not younger, you definitely like it's better to start right away. Um, oh, my heart breaks. Yeah, that's so hard, and I can totally understand her being scared. You know, how many people does she have in her life? If she only has you, then she only knows you. So she knows you as the person who gives her food. She knows you as the person who keeps her safe. She knows you're the one who protects her and holds her and loves her. And so when you're not there, she doesn't have that security. So it might be a good idea to find something, maybe a special stuffed animal that while she's sitting with you, she also holds the stuffed animal, but only while she's sitting with you. So she also learns that as long as she has this, maybe it's a teddy bear or something, as long as she has this teddy bear, she's okay. So that if you have to do something in another room and she has her teddy bear, she's okay, right? Because she needs to feel that safe. Okay, she needs to feel that safeness, that love, that you know. So that's what I think that would be a good idea to start. Like every time she's with you, she gets the teddy bear. Um, I would see about getting tactile toys, so toys that have different textures and things like that. Teaching her how to get around the house without falling. You know, getting her to walk with you. Um, Even when I walk around my own house, I always have a finger dragging along. I don't have my house fully memorized that I can just quickly walk across the room without falling or anything like that. So I would really encourage that as well, getting her used to those methods. I can't help but wonder if maybe where you are living, if there is some kind of blind organization that can also help you find resources.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yeah.
yeah,
That would be a really good thing to do too. Yes, to find an organization, a small community or in a big community. Yeah, something that she is connected to while we're young. Yeah.
hmm hmm that can be so hard, especially with a child. And like I said, you need to make sure that you're working on your emotions and how you're dealing with stuff as well. Because you need to grieve too, but you have to be careful that you don't put your grieving onto your child. I know somebody actually who is around my age who their mom, so his sibling died before he was even born. And the mom passed on her grieving to her son, and he's around my age. He's never met this sibling, never met, like, it died before he was born, and yet he grieves for her and misses her even though he never met her. And that's not healthy, because that's not even his grief, that's his mom's grief. So you want to make sure that you have time for yourself, that you can deal with it, and not put that grief onto your child. And so I would highly recommend that you have maybe 30 minutes or an hour a day that you can think through emotionally how you're feeling about the situation. Maybe she's facing a situation with friends or school or whatever, and you take that time each day and you write it down, and only during those times is when you work through those things emotionally so that you're able to get through it. That way you're strong enough, you can help her get through it. Because if you're not dealing with it yourself, you can't be strong for yourself, and you can't be strong to help her. So
Yeah. That's words of wisdom there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. She went outside. I was in the bathroom. I never heard her voice. When I look at her, she went outside and almost went to the busy street, scream and shout so loud so to reach her. I ran so fast to catch her. I was so scared. Thought I'm gonna lost her. Uh, 3 years back then. She was 3 years old back then. At first time she opened the garage door because she didn't see me inside the house. I was looking also she around the house. I noticed the door was open. So glad if I catch her. If not, I don't know. So yeah, this is from a mom's point of view. This is so hard for a mom. I can't. Oh my God, it breaks my heart. As a mom, oh my God, and Bear, it's hard to be a mom too, eh?
I can only imagine. Yeah. I would recommend trying to set up that she doesn't leave the house unless, so a rule that we've always had in our house. My mom had 4 kids, homeschooled us all. My dad had to work, so my mom would have to take us all grocery shopping, and so she would say, "I will not leave the store unless we're all together. No one leaves the store unless we're all together." And so because of that rule, if we ever got separated, we never went outside the store to look for my mom because we knew that she would stay in the store. So that would be something good to set up at your house, to say that, we don't leave the house unless we're together. So then she knows that, okay, I know if I wake up and I don't find mom has to be in the house somewhere because she will not leave the house without telling me. But you need to make sure that you do that. You never want to break her trust, because if one day you forget and you leave the house, now she'll always wonder, oh, she told me she wasn't going to leave the house and she left the house. I'm really interested in what country you live in.
She's in the U.S. She's not in the U.S. I would really love us guys to connect on Facebook. I would make a group for you, Ashley and Aini, and we can go there if we have, when we are free and stuff like that. And Ashley and you can connect together with this. I'm so happy. I'm so glad that you and Aini said yes. Thank you so much. This is very. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm just so glad this happens, guys, that you were able to meet up and, get connected.
I'm glad you had me on the show.
I'm so happy. I would like to continue next time, and I would like to wrap up. I'm going to go up. Hi. That was awesome. Thank you so much. I I would like to thank you, Ashley. Thank you so much. We will be connected for sure. And I would love Aini, Seth, Holland, 137 to be connected to you. This will be, oh my God, this is a blessing. I felt her. Like what to do to myself if I lost her. That's big. That's big. So thank you so much, Ashley. You're such a blessing today. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And if you have more questions, we can always connect to Ashley. Ashley on her Facebook page, her channel. She will always be on my channel. She will be in the in the live section. And yes, thank you so much. And this will be the first for her. This is for more to come. This is just the first, the beginning. So we will see a lot of her more for her advocacy and for her encouragement for everyone. Thank you so much, Asli.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, have a beautiful day. Ines has said, have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you for our 11 million viewers. Thank you so much, everyone. Ashley, have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon on Facebook, and we'll get together soon too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
everyone. God bless. Bye-bye, everyone. God bless. Thank you so much. Have a happy Sunday. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end of the segment. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. God bless po. God bless po sa ating lahat. Thank you. Bye-bye, Ashley. God bless you. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.